In this video, we're going to talk about growing up and ages and stages of life. Birth is the moment when a baby is born. At birth, babies are 0 years old. As babies get older, we talk about their age in months. So a baby might be 6 months old or 20 months old. We usually use months until they're about 2 years old. And then people would start saying they are 2 years old or 3 years old or 4 years old. When a baby is about 12 months to 3 years old, we call them a toddler. Toddlers are small children that are starting to crawl or starting to walk. Then, when they are 3 years old, we say that they are a child. Your childhood starts when you're 3 years old up until when you're 12, because when you're 13, you become a teenager. From the ages of 13 to 18 or 19, you're considered a teenager and you're in your teens. And once you turn 18, you are an adult. When you're 21, 22 or 23, you can say that you're in your 20s. If you're 21 or 22, then you're in your early 20s. If you're 25 or 26, you're in your mid-20s. And if you're 28 or 29, you're in your late 20s. And we can apply this to all other ages. So you can be in your early 30s, early 40s, mid-30s and mid-40s, or late 30s and late 40s. When you're about 40 or 50 years old, you are middle-aged because you're in the middle of your life. And when you stop working, you are retired. So when you're about 60 or 65, you're retired because you start your retirement. And when you're about 80, we would say that it's old age. And when we're talking about people who are quite old, we would say the elderly. It's not really nice to use the word old or old people. We say elderly as an adjective, like his elderly grandparents, instead of old grandparents. And when we're talking about people in general, we would say the elderly and not old people. It's more respectful to use this word. Then, if we're talking about somebody's age and we don't really know their specific age, we would say that they're roughly or approximately 20. So when we say roughly, it means approximately more or less that age. Now we're going to look at some words which are related to age and stages of life. The first word we have is infant. Infant is another way to say the word baby. So we use this word to talk about very small children that are up to 12 months old. So when we think of an infant or a baby, it's a very small child. A newborn is a baby that was just born. So if you're talking with someone and they say that they are a nurse and they work with newborns, it means that they work with babies that have just been born, so they are very young. A preschooler is a child that doesn't go to school yet, so they're about 2 to 4 years old maybe. I suppose it depends how old you are when you start school in your country, because it depends on the country. Some children start when they're 4 years old, some people start when they're 5, but preschooler is a child that doesn't go to school yet, and they probably go to nursery. In American English, nursery is a kindergarten. A pensioner is a person who is retired and is receiving a pension. A pension is the money that you receive from the government when you stop working. You normally start receiving your pension when you're about 65 years old, but it depends on your generation. They keep increasing the age, so I know that my generation probably won't retire when we are 65. It will probably be a lot older than that. I've chosen some good phrasal verbs related to this topic. The first one is an easy one, grow up. Grow up is to get older, so to go from a child to adult. So I grew up in England. Bring up means to raise a child. So we would use this in passive if we're talking about ourselves. For example, my parents brought me up in England. Or I was brought up in England. So when we talk about ourselves, when we're talking about how we were brought up, we use the passive. But if we say my parents brought me up, in that case we don't have to use the passive. When you are an adult, you normally move out. That means that you leave your family home to live independently. I moved out when I was 18. And the last one is settle down. Settle down means to start a quiet adult life. So you have a job, you have a family, you have a house. So people normally say that in your 20s you like to go partying. Well, I suppose it depends on the person, but you like to go partying and you travel a lot. You're normally renting, but then when you settle down, you buy a house, you have a permanent job, and you might decide to have children. So settle down is like to start a quiet adult life. If you enjoyed these words, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in. Bye-bye.